Hi gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing a list of fragrances that are my top 10 for life. And what I mean by that is if I were coerced to pick 10 fragrances that I could not do without, these fragrances would be a part of that list. And the list is for right now. So as of right now, these are my top 10 for life fragrances. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Hey friend, welcome back. I hope your week has been amazing. So I recently celebrated my birthday and I took a little break. So if you've noticed a little bit of a slowdown, that is why. I had an amazing birthday and I want to thank those of you who follow me on Instagram for wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you so much. But I'm back feeling refreshed and excited to talk about fragrances with you. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on that thumbnail. On this channel, I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, and I also sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle. So if any of those things sound good to you, then I would love to have you here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. I am pulling these fragrances out in no particular order. And the first one I have here is Maison Francis Courgence Grand Soir. This is a fragrance that I did not think I would enjoy. As a matter of fact, when I first smelled this fragrance, it was way too masculine leaning to my nose. But last winter, the girlies were going crazy about this fragrance and I decided to give it another try. So I smelled it at my local Neiman Marcus and it was like I was smelling it for the first time. And I think that's because my nose has grown. So my taste in fragrances has changed the longer I have been experimenting with fragrances, and that will happen. Anywho, ever since then, I could not stop thinking about it. I went ahead and purchased a bottle, got it engraved and everything, and I'm just enamored with this fragrance. So this fragrance is warm, rich, it's ambery, heavy on the amber aspect. And that's what I love about this fragrance. When paired with more creamier, lactonic, vanillic scents for the fall and winter, you can get more sweetness out of this. And it just gives off a more expensive vibe because this fragrance, in my opinion, smells like money. So to me, this fragrance, it gives off very luxe vibes. And I think that's what I love about this fragrance. And that's why this would be a part of my top 10 for life. This is one I want to have in my collection forever because it has a certain presence to it that is extremely elevated, extremely grown up, serious vibes. But you can also pair this, like I said, with more playful scents and it will just add a very rich, ambery, and luxurious feel and presence to your fragrances. This is so good, and I feel like because I've sprayed it out, it's been sitting for several months now, I feel like this is going to be absolutely wonderful this fall and winter. So I cannot wait to wear this. As soon as it starts to cool down, this one is coming back out. It is so good. And to me, this is a truly unisex fragrance. So while I used to think this was masculine leaning, now that my nose has matured and grown a little bit, to me, this is now more of a unisex fragrance. A man or woman can enjoy this. It is absolutely luxurious, very expensive smelling, very rich, very bold, and just a touch sweet. This does not have a lot of sweetness in it. And if you're someone that does not like overly sweet fragrances, but you still love a good warm ambery scent, this is a nice one for the fall and winter. So MFK's Grand Soir or Grand Soir is in my top 10 for life list. Speaking of very luxurious, very rich, and very bold, this next one is in my top 10 for life because it is exactly all of those things. And this is one of my Arabian fragrances. This is Lattafa's Hamra Kawa. So I'm not going to bore you with the notes and all of that. I've talked about this fragrance so much on this channel. I recently talked about it in a fall picks video, which I will link here. just know that this gives off luxury, this gives off class, this gives expensive. It is very rich, it's very bold, it's sweet and cozy with a hint of coffee, and it is a beautifully blended, gorgeous masterpiece of a fragrance. I'm so excited to wear this one this fall and winter. And this is one that I do not want to be without. It has to be in my collection no matter what, because it is a masterpiece of a scent in my opinion. So as I've stated, this it has the most gorgeous mix of cardamom and cinnamon and a sticky sweetness with a hint of a beautiful Arabic coffee. It is so wonderful. I love this fragrance. It gives cozy vibes, but it's still very grown up. It's not a juvenile type of scent. It's a very elevated and polished type of scent, and it smells expensive. I love this one. So this one definitely had to be in my top 10 for life. If I were coerced back against the wall, backed into a corner to give my top 10 for life list of fragrances, you already know this one had to be on there for sure. This is Lattafa's Hamra Kawa. So this next one probably shouldn't be on the list because it is a limited edition fragrance, but it's so good. I had to put it on this list, and I've been using it ever so sparingly because I am so afraid of not being able to find this. I did find out that a non-US department store does carry this fragrance, so I'm probably going to go ahead and pick up my backup bottle because this is one that I just don't want to be without. And the fragrance I'm talking about is Valentino's Donna Born in Roma Pink PP. So Pink PP is the perfect orange blossom and vanilla fragrance. This is a very sweet vanillic orange blossom, and for me, the original Donna Born in Roma was a little too sweet. That sounds really crazy coming from me because I'm a gourmet girly. I love sweet fragrances, but something about the original was a little bit nauseating for me. I don't know what it is. I love the scent of it, but wearing it for long term, it just was a little nauseating and I got tired of it very quickly. But this one here is, I feel like, the perfect blend of orange blossom and vanilla. It's really girly, but it's still very classy and very polished. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. It's not too dense. It's just the perfect combination of notes. And so for me, that's why this one had to be in this list. This is a very easy reach type of fragrance, a signature scent, if you will, an everyday type of scent, and the perfect candidate for this top 10 for life list for sure. Oh, this is so pretty. This is a pretty girl type of scent for sure. Very beautiful. I think this is going to be my scent of the day. I don't have a fragrance on yet, so let's go ahead and put this on. By the way, I did receive a request from one of my beautiful subscribers to share a little bit about my spray routine, how I spray on my fragrances, and I'm going to be doing that in the next video for sure. I'm not an expert by any means on spraying fragrances. I just spray them however I feel like they need to be sprayed, but I will be more than happy to share how I do it with you all. Also, I am primarily a clothes sprayer. I do spray on my skin when I'm testing things out to see if they're gonna work for me and to see what the performance is like, but I'm primarily a clothes sprayer, so I'll definitely share all of that with you in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Anywho, this one is pretty linear, but it's gorgeous. To my nose, the orange blossom and the vanilla are what makes this absolutely beautiful. And oh my goodness, it's like a classic scent that has a modern touch to it. So this is Valentino's Donna Born in Roma Pink PP. The next fragrance is one that is in my top 10 for life because I have an emotional attachment to it. I picked this up last May when I was in Atlanta. I went on a date with hubby and I wore this, and ever since then, I have grown emotionally attached to this fragrance. This is Giardini di Toscana's Bora Bora. Now, like I said, I wore this on a date when I first received it. This was also my first time at that particular niche boutique, and the customer service was amazing. And so I think for those reasons, I am very fond of this perfume. But besides the emotional aspect, this fragrance is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And y'all, the performance is out of this world for this one. This will be on your clothes all day long. And this is one of the few fragrances in my collection that projects for more than an arm's length for 5-6 hours. That is incredible in my opinion. The first two fragrances I showed, Grand Soir and Hamra Kawa, are also really loud projectors for the first 4 or 5 hours. This one right here though, it's amazing. It takes the cake in terms of performance. And I know that Bianco Latte performs the same as well. So I'm curious to try some other fragrances from this house to see how they perform. But this one, not only is it a gorgeous honeyed white floral fragrance, but it lasts, it performs, it projects, and the performance is just so impressive. So what I love about this fragrance is the honeyed kind of sweet aspect of it, but I also love the white floral aspect of it because I love a good white floral fragrance. And this one just gives off a very feminine, very soft vibes, but it also has a sweet and gourmand element to it as well. So being that I love both of those things very much, the fact that this fragrance embodies those things in one bottle is what makes this perfect for this list. So this is Giardini di Toscana's Bora Bora. The next fragrance is a new one to my collection. The fact that this is so new and it's already a part of this list is saying a lot. The fragrance I'm talking about is Paris Corner's Juicy Melange. Oh my goodness. This one is already on the list because it is such a unique blend of fruits with a touch of spice and something herbaceous at the top, and just a gorgeous, sweet, slightly creamy dry down. That's what this fragrance is for me. It is absolutely stunning. It smells so unique. It smells so expensive. It smells very high quality, very beautifully blended. And this is another one of the fragrances in my Arabian perfume collection that I'm absolutely impressed by. The other one being Hamra Kawa. This one is up there with that. And you can already see my dent. The dent is real because I've been loving this one, y'all. It is amazing. I love it to wear out during the daytime. I recently started doing solid core classes, and you sweat in those classes like nobody's business. And this has withstood a sweaty solid core session. So this is absolutely amazing. So as I mentioned, this one opens up very fresh and juicy and sweet with a subtle hint of nutmeg, and the nutmeg is so interesting at the top of this. I didn't think that was something I would enjoy, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoy the addition of almost a little sprinkle of nutmeg, and it's a touch herbaceous as well. And then you get that burst of just juicy fruity goodness, and the dry down is very sweet. You get the tonka bean, it's subtly creamy with the vanilla. It's just so beautiful. So again, this is Juicy Melange by Paris Corner. This next one is another gorgeous fragrance. This is a luxury niche fragrance by Navitus, and you all already know what I'm about to show you. This is Mani Cassonade, and Mani Cassonade is one of those fragrances that I also feel is extremely elevated and very polished, very unique, and perfect for fall and winter. I've shared my thoughts on this fragrance numerous of times on this channel, so I will link a video where you can hear all of my thoughts. But just know this had to be on the top 10 for life list just because it is extremely elevated. And I've not had too many fragrances that are very gourmand but also elevated. And those two aspects are a huge part of my fragrance personality. So this one is just beautiful. Another thing I love about this one is it's a compliment getter. You're gonna get compliments on this one when you go out. I got compliments when I wore this a lot last fall and winter. It's just so yummy, but so elevated and so polished. And to me, those characteristics make this perfect for a top 10 for life list. Again, I will link the videos where I've talked about this fragrance before for your reference. This is Mani Cassonade by Navitus and Sharita M. Speaking of elevated gourmand scents, this is another one that is very gourmand but very expensive smelling, and that is Maison Mataha's Escapade Gourmand. This is one I picked up last fall, I think. I did pick up a bottle of this because that's how much I enjoy this fragrance. Now, this fragrance was a little different than I expected. I thought this was going to be a very loudly projecting gourmand, but what I experienced with this one is it's a very quiet gourmand. So This one gives off creme brulee vibes. It's very sweet, but it's fluffy, it's light, it's whipped. So you do get that brown sugar, you do get that creme brulee type of feel, but it's not dense. It's a fluffy, light fragrance. And that kind of makes me think this would be really nice paired with Fleur's newest hair and body mist, Heavy Cream. Heavy Cream would probably pair really well with Escapade Gourmand because they're both very light and fluffy, sweet gourmand scents. So after getting over my expectations of this fragrance, I was actually able to start appreciating it for what it is. And that's how I would describe this fragrance. This is a quiet gourmand. This is so delicious, but so sophisticated. So this is not juvenile in the least bit, but it is also not necessarily mature. This is grown up, sophisticated, very sweet, very delicious, but very light, very quiet. I don't know, I may have gone nose blind to this, but when I put this on, I feel like I overspray with this one, and other people can smell me, but it's still not like loud or obnoxious. It's just that it forms a nice scent bubble, but that scent bubble is still quiet, and I really like that. This is such a sophisticated fragrance, and if you're a gourmand girly, I feel like this is one to have because it is going to be different than any of your other gourmand fragrances. So this is Escapade Gourmand by Maison Mataha. So speaking of fragrances that are more of an intimate wear, this next one also wears more closely, and this is Mind Games Queening. Mind Games Queening is a very soft, crisp, fluffy, airy type of vanilla fragrance, but this fragrance has very unique aspects because it has a rum and a saffron and a coconut note that makes this vanilla smell very elevated and polished, yet very soft and inviting. So this is a lighter vanilla fragrance, one that you can wear on a daily basis. If you're a corporate girly or guy, this is perfect for that space because this one is another quiet fragrance. You can smell it, you can tell it is there, but it is not going to interfere with anyone else around you. So that's why I love this one. This is the most unique, most sophisticated, soft, polished, and very inviting vanilla fragrance in my collection. It does something that is different from your sunscreen type of scents. The coconut in here adds a creaminess, a richness to this fragrance that I can't quite put my finger on. But if you're from the islands, you know that we tend to use coconut milk for our rice. And the way that coconut milk adds a richness and a heft and a thickness to the rice is the way that coconut is used in this fragrance, in my opinion. And I think it's the combination of the coconut, the saffron, the rum, the cotton flower, the vanilla. I think it's a combination of those things that makes this fragrance incredibly addictive to me and one that I want in my collection forever. So Mind Games Queening definitely had to go in this list of my top 10 fragrances for life. This next one is another one that I've grown an emotional attachment to because of the event surrounding when I purchased it. I've talked all about that previously, so I will link a video that you can reference here. But this one is Lys 41 by Le Labo. If you love white florals, specifically tuberose, Lys 41 is that girl. This is a very white floral prominent fragrance, and for me, I love white florals, especially when they're a little bit creamy and they're slightly sweet. And that's what this one is. This one is different from Giardini di Toscana's Bora Bora because Bora Bora has more lactonic, more creamy, more sweet notes. This one is more of a pure tuberose type of scent, a more pure white floral type of scent, but it has a subtly creamy aspect. So I think that's how the two are different. This one does not have a gourmand element in it at all. But this one, oh, it's so beautiful. This one is like a fresh bouquet of white florals. That's what I'm getting from this, with like a hint of a vanillic background. It is gorgeous. It's a very simplistic linear scent, but it is the most gorgeous white floral fragrance that I've ever smelled. So if you're not afraid of a good white floral fragrance, if you are a white floral fragrance lover, I think this is one to try. So next time you're at the mall or at a Le Labo store, stop by and sniff this and come back to this video and tell me what you think about this gorgeous fragrance. This one also gives off a bit of a regal vibe in my opinion. And as you can see, this one has quite a dent because I'm loving it. This is the bigger 3.4 fluid ounce bottle. And in the spring, last spring and this spring, I was absolutely loving this fragrance. So this is Lease 41. And the last, but certainly not least, fragrance in this top 10 for life list is none other than the beautiful, the feminine, the sweet, the playful, yet sophisticated Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42 by Kylie. The dent is an indication of how much I enjoy this fragrance, and this is one that I do not want to be without. This had to be on the list. When I first got this fragrance, I thought, this is really similar to Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle. And obviously everyone gathered the same thing. But the more I experimented with this fragrance, the more I realized it's not the same. The opening of this is the same as La Belle, but if you really pay attention to how this one develops, it turns into a sweet bubblegum, and I definitely pick up on the violet. And then after that, I start picking up on a creaminess, a sugary sweet creaminess. And so this one develops into something very playful. And so this fragrance is one that my opinion of it changed the longer I played around with it. And now I absolutely love it. It is my favorite Kylie fragrance to date. I've had Vanilla 28, I've had Deja Vu White Flower. As a matter of fact, I still have a small size of Deja Vu White Flower 57. That's a beautiful white floral fragrance. I've had Eden Sparkling Lychee, and I think those were the ones that I really loved and that were a part of my collection. But this one here is one that when it is finished, I will be picking up a full size, and I haven't done that for any of the other fragrances. The other fragrances I've used and I've either donated or sold, but this is one that when I'm finished, I'm gonna need to re-up on it because it's beautiful. And it's one that deserves a spot in my collection forever. It's just the perfect combination of playful, feminine, girly, yet very sophisticated and very grown up. So you get playful, sweet, girly, and sexy all in one bottle. And for those reasons, Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42 had to be in my top 10 for life list of fragrances. All right, my beautiful friends, thank you so much for still being here. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like on your way out because that is really helping my channel continue to grow. Thank you in advance for liking and commenting. And if you are here and you enjoy fragrance content and this video really spoke to you, then I would love it if you would subscribe because I make quite a bit of fragrance content on this channel. And be sure to hit that notification bell on your way out so you never miss another video. Before I go, per usual, I wanted to share something with you that really spoke to me recently. I was watching a sermon from Dr. Darius Daniels, and he had this one-liner that really took me aback. He said that fear and faith both take vision. Let that marinate for a little bit. So you can either spend your time thinking of all of the things that you're fearful of, casting a vision for all of the things that you are afraid might happen, all of the outcomes that make you afraid, or thinking on and thinking of the things that make you too fearful to start something that you've always been wanting to start. Or you can channel that same time and energy into believing for the best. Believing that if you feel that God is calling you to do something, if you feel led to start a specific thing, whatever that thing may be for you, instead expending that same energy that you would spend worrying and being fearful on believing for the best. And so yes, you still have to put one foot in front of the other. You still have to write your vision down, write your plans out. You still have to act and put work behind your faith. But instead of spending time being fearful, spend your time exercising faith, being full of faith. We can sometimes get so hung up on all the reasons why we shouldn't be doing something, all the reasons why we can't, maybe naysayers or gatekeepers. And let me tell you, the more I have leaned into God, the more any type of naysayers or any type of gatekeepers were rendered powerless. So I want to encourage you today to keep pushing forward, spend more time believing and less time being fearful. I know that's easier said than done, but all it takes is one action at a time, putting one foot in front of the other every single day. And before you know it, you'll look up and you will be knee deep in the blessings and the beautiful outcomes that arose from you acting on faith. Per usual, I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.